Born in Scarborough, Ontario, Natalie Spooner grew up in hockey arenas around the city, watching her three older brothers play. She joined the Durham West Lightning Girls Hockey Association at the age of 5 and would stay with the team for the next 12 years. Nat's Olympic dreams were ignited after watching the Canadian women win gold in 2002 and cemented further after meeting her hockey hero, Jennifer Botterill. A scholarship to Ohio State University in 2008 allowed Natalie to continue to pursue her passion. And in addition to earning a pre-med nutrition degree, Natalie holds the all-time school goal-scoring record, was a 2012 NCAA All-American, and was a Patty Kazmaier Award finalist. Nat was drafted by the Toronto Furies in 2012 and earned herself a spot on the 2014 Canadian Olympic team, playing on a line with Haley Wickenheiser and Megan Agosta. Spooner helped the team capture gold after defeating the U.S. in the finals. She would become the first player to win Olympic gold and the Clarkson Cup in the same year after leading the Toronto Furies to the title. Natalie competed again in the 2018 Olympics in Pyeongchang, bringing home the silver medal in a thrilling final versus, you guessed it, the United States. Now Natalie is getting set to suit up for Team Canada once again, this time for the World Championships in Nova Scotia, where we know we'll see Natalie continue to shine.
Natalie, it is so nice to see you. Not just because you're a real-life human being, and I haven't been in the same room as a real-life human being in a while doing this show, but it's great to have you on.
Yes, thanks so much for having me, and I'm excited. I mean, first in-person interview in how long?
Oh my gosh, it's so nice. It is not lost on me that we are in sort of the hallowed halls, the Hockey Night in Canada studios, the NHL and Sportsnet studios. You're a part of this team now. I want to know what that means to you. Obviously, your life goal is to be on Team Canada doing what you're doing, but it's got to be pretty cool.
It's been really fun to kind of explore, the broadcasting side of things and be able to be, a hockey analyst. And I think, there's so many females that have so much information and are, we've played the game for how long that why not have our thoughts on the air? And I think, too, we may see the game a little bit different than the guys. And I think even the NHL game, I think is coming a little bit more towards our game, a little more skill, a little more finesse. So I think we have a lot to share. And it's been exciting to, get to be on some of the broadcasts and share my insight.
Share your insight, and also with friends, right? I mean, so many of your colleagues are doing this. Sarah Nurse is doing this. Jennifer Botterill, your childhood idol, is doing this. Megan Mickelson was on the Edmonton broadcast.
Awesome.
I mean, what's it like watching your colleagues also sort of take the spotlight in that way?
I love it. I mean, I think, too, for me, still learning and still getting more comfortable on it, to see them and to see, how are they approaching it? What are they seeing in those plays? I mean, I look at someone like Bots or Cassie, they're pros. They've done this for how long? So to be able to watch them and to learn from them has been pretty special. And then, for me and Nursey, just kind of getting into it and getting our first time on the show together, I think it's so much fun just to kind of go through this, all of this together.
I'm going to talk about Jennifer Botterill with you in just a minute, because that's a great story. But you've really just returned from Nova Scotia. Team Canada actually got together for a camp in preparation for the Worlds that are happening in May. What was it like being back together with everybody after all this time?
It was amazing. I mean, I think, we obviously train in our hubs, and there's a great group in Toronto, but there's nothing like being back with the full team, getting some games under our belt. I think, you could just tell the excitement on the ice because there was so much energy. People were skating as fast as they could, and it was just that level of excitement on the ice was something that I don't think has ever been matched before. I mean, people were having a blast.
Some up-and-comers. You said you've got your eye on a few people. Who should we be watching?
Yeah, I mean, I've got to train this summer with Sarah Fillier, and obviously a player at Princeton, but didn't go to school this year, and so stayed back and got to train with us. I think, she's such a dynamic player, and I would keep an eye out for her. Lauren Gable obviously made a huge impact at World Championships in 2019. 6 goals, I think, in that tournament. So I would keep an eye out for her. I mean, she can shoot the puck. I mean, we have some young defense coming up too. Claire Thompson. I mean, goalies and Renee Desbiens. We all saw her at the NHL All-Star game. Yeah. I think she's, going to be. I mean, Canada always has great goaltending. We have so many great goaltenders, but I would keep an eye out for her. I think the list could go on and on. How long do we have to talk?
The whole team. How about just everybody watch the tournament, and you'll be impressed. We were on a panel, or I was facilitating a panel that was with some of your colleagues and also some of the coaching staff from Team Canada. Troy Ryan, the head coach, talked about the fact that the whole team is always in tryout mode. And that had never really occurred to me. You are never 100% comfortable in your role. It doesn't matter how established you, Natalie Spooner, are. You're always trying out to be a member of Team Canada. What does that do to you?
Yeah, you know what? I think there's like a bunch of different ways to look at it. And for me, I enjoy the pressure. So I actually don't mind that, you know, every September we know that we're going into a camp and you got to prove yourself to be going to that Four Nations Cup. That Four Nations Cup, you're proving yourself to go to January camp. That January camp, you're proving yourself to go to the Worlds. So for me, you know, I like that pressure and I like to keep it on.
Of course, we all love watching you play, but we've gotten to see so much more of you. You've become a real social media superstar. And I'm wondering, is this a natural thing for you? Or are you like, this TikTok thing, this is fun?
You know, I wouldn't say TikTok is natural yet. I'm still trying to figure it out. It's way harder than I thought. You know, but I'm getting some help from the younger kids on our team for sure. They're trying to,
interesting.
Teach me a little bit, but TikTok is difficult, but I enjoy it. I like the finished product, but the making of it is way harder than it looks.
It is, right? So you have to exercise your creativity. But I mean, trying new things, right? Going out there on a limb. We saw you on the Amazing Race, Battle of the Blades. Has that always been sort of part of your personality to push the envelope a little bit?
I think so. I think I like the feeling of adrenaline. I don't know, like, I would never skydive again. I would never bungee jump again, but I like that feeling where you go out and you're trying something new and you know, you're kind of put on the spot and you got to perform. So that's why, you know, I loved Amazing Race, waking up not knowing where you're going. I think along the way, I also learned kind of more to go with the flow because hockey is quite structured. And then Battle of the Blades, I mean, even when I went from skating to a judge, I missed that feeling of right before you're about to perform. The feeling you get, kind of like the nerves, but as soon as you start, you kind of forget about it and you just go. And I guess it's kind of like hockey, like the first shift, you may be a little nervous, those big games, but as soon as you get playing, it's like you've played it how many games in your whole life, you know?
What did you learn about yourself on Battle of the Blades?
I learned how to be dainty. I learned that your arms have lines and your legs have lines and you've got to point them. I learned that in hockey, I really do not think about what I look like and I'm not a pretty skater, but going from that to figure skating, I had to think so much more because it wasn't just thinking about the routine and what I had to do, but I was thinking about, you know, am I smiling? Am I pointing my fingers? Like, I had like claw hands sometimes, which is not allowed. I did a lot wrong. I sang the whole way through the routines, which I guess is also not allowed. But I made it my own and just went with it.
You were so much fun to watch. I loved watching you each and every week. Okay, so here's where we're going to flip right back around to Jennifer Botterill because so year 2, you're a coach on Battle of the Blades and you have to judge your childhood idol.
Yeah, how do you expect that?
That's intense.
It's really intense. I mean, going into it, I was like, there's no way I can judge any of these. They're top athletes. They're the best at what they do. I mean, there's figure skaters that are the best at what they do. Like, to me, they were all doing amazing. You know, it's like, how do I give them a low mark?
Okay, so what is the story with Jen Botterill? You met her, you were 11 years old, and sort of changed your life.
Yeah, so it would have been, I remember watching the 2002 Olympics. I don't think it really clicked for me, though, that, you know, I was watching hockey. It didn't click for me that it was like these women that could keep playing. And it wasn't until after that I went to a camp and she brought her gold medal from that Olympics. And I got to meet her and see her gold medal, take a picture with her. I still have the picture. So it was that moment that I was like, it kind of all clicked for me that like that was the same person I saw on TV and that I could be like her and I could do what she was doing and win gold medals. And so I think that really sparked my dream and made me kind of push harder and train harder and want to get to that level.
So you are that now. I mean, how seriously do you take your role model status? I know how much work you do with the next generation, but you're that, you know?
It's kind of weird when people say that because I don't feel any different. And like, I mean, I remember the story with my old teammate, Kelly Terry. There was a little girl I met and I've never had someone cry over meeting me, but there's this little girl that crying, and she later came in the locker room, and Kelly goes, "Why are you crying about her? She's just a weirdo." And I was like, this is totally it. Like, I'm just me. I'm not anything special. Like, I don't see myself as a role model. I'm just gonna be me on any given day. I may be singing, dancing, you know, I'm skating hard, whatever it is. Like, I'm just gonna bring me. And I mean, I think it's amazing that girls can look up to that and aspire to be that, but at the same time, be better than me, right? Like they say, oh, I want to be like you. Well, I actually think that by the time that 10-year-old girl is 21, 22, she's going to be 10 times better than I am, because women's hockey is growing that fast and players are getting that good so much earlier.
There are a couple of organizations that you've been doing some work with. I know you've been doing a lot, but a couple I wanted to highlight. And one is Fast and Female. We have Chandra Crawford coming on our show in a few weeks' time. So they do amazing work trying to keep girls in sport. Why is that something you wanted to pair with?
Yeah, I mean, I think sport has brought so much to my life, and I've, you know, not only have I met all my best friends through sport, I've got to travel, but I've also learned teamwork and work ethic and hard work, and there's so many things that sport can bring to girls. And when I learned that, you know, girls are dropping out of sports so early, Fast and Female is stopping that from happening. And I've been to so many of their events, and they expose girls to so many different sports, because sure, girls may try hockey and might not like it. I quit hockey when I was 4, and luckily I got back into it. But if I hadn't, hopefully I would have found another sport that I would have liked. So they're exposing them to all different types of sports. So hopefully they can find one, and they don't need to be an Olympian. They don't need to be a world champion, but they can, you know, play as long as they want. And hey, we all end up being beer league hockey players one day. And I think that that's something that's so important. And for me, the other thing is exposing girls to role models.
Right.
Because when I met Jennifer Botterill, that was my moment. And I think for some of these girls who don't have access to those role models, don't believe that they can be that. They don't have that same belief as when they meet them and say, she's a real person, she's done it. You know, she started out where I did, and now I can do it. And so I think that that's something that Fast and Female does with, you know, these real life role models.
Yeah. I want to talk about Blind Hockey Canada too, because you've been working with them, and obviously they do amazing work trying to literally make hockey for everyone.
For sure. I mean, I think, you know, I grew up with the luxury of playing hockey, and I've got to go and watch blind hockey, and they're amazing. I mean, first of all, I say everyone should be able to play hockey. I love the game. I'm passionate about the game. I want everyone to experience hockey because they're going to love it. And to be able to, you know, watch sledge hockey, watch blind hockey, I don't think I would be able to play at their level sometimes, the way that, you know, they're able to play and without being able to see. And I think it's really cool, and I hope everyone really gets a chance to go see it.
We have to talk about the PWHPA.
Yes.
The Dream Gap Tour has been, you know, in pretty full swing south of the border. We have some different COVID protocols in Canada, so you haven't been able to get at it. What has it been like to watch your colleagues south of the border on some big stages with some great production? I mean, it looks good.
I mean, it's been amazing. I mean, for them to play, at MSG, that was, I mean, they made history there, the first women's game at that rink. You know, they got St. Louis coming up. So I think there's been so many amazing moments. And I think what I was worried about with COVID hitting was we had all this momentum. We had such a great Dream Gap Tour last year. And how are we going to be able to continue this momentum? And at least south of the border, we've been able to do that. We've been able to, you know, showcase our game, even though it's not all of the players. We've been able to showcase and show the talent that we have. And I mean, hopefully we'll be able to have a Canadian Dream Gap Tour coming up at some point. We're all itching to get back on the ice and to, you know, be able to also showcase our talents. But I think that it's been great that we've been able to continue that momentum and to keep building and to show that there is a market for women's hockey. People want to watch it. Look at how many people tuned into those games. And I mean, those girls put on a show, and I loved watching it myself.
Natalie, before I let you go, we ask all of our guests the same question, and that is, what is your best advice for a young you?
A young me. I would say to be confident and to believe in myself and know that I could do it. I think, you know, growing up, I didn't come from a hockey family. Like, my parents moved from England. They knew nothing about hockey. And I don't think I even realized that I could even get this far, right? So I think it would be, you know, to believe in myself, and once I had that dream, to just go for it. When I was little, I was going to play in the NHL like my brothers. So I think it would be really, just go for it, work hard, be confident in yourself, believe in yourself, and you can achieve anything.
Great advice for any age. Nat Spooner, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.